Hello, Gene Key's friends and family. Welcome back to Gene Key of the Day. This is a show where we explore the wings of the dragonfly. Okay, that is a poetic metaphor for we are taking a look at the myriad shapes and colors of our evolution and the archetypes that take place in our lives. And so we look at the wheel of consciousness and see that this week the sun is in the fifth gene key, being illuminated by this ray of consciousness that takes on the qualities of impatience at the shadow when we're operating at a lower frequency, more dense, and lifts up into the essence of patience as the gift when we raise our frequency and we're operating at more of a heightened state. And all the way to that transcendent nature of timelessness. This one is a deep and profound key that we will be exploring not only in this episode, but throughout the week and throughout our lives. So here we are sitting at the center of the wheel, exploring the themes of patience, the themes of time and rhythms and cycles. This key's all about seasons, timing, the pulse of life. And you can feel how at the gift level here, we're tuned into the heartbeat of nature. We feel the natural rhythms of society. I was going to say seasons. The seasons of society. And at the shadow, we are out of touch with that rhythm. And so that chaotic pace of society actually does mirror us being out of rhythm and out of sync with nature. And the perspective comes around with this key that we are always held in the balance of life. So I want to explore this. Here at the shadow, impatience really gets into our bodies and we become slightly agitated and uncomfortable because we're not tuned in to the natural rhythms. And therefore, we perceive life around us to not be well. All is not well. All is not as it should be. Something's wrong here. And sometimes we're looking at something that we really don't want, the violence in the world, the things that don't seem right with the economy and all these different aspects. But there's some mystery under here where this particular key, it calls us to listen deeper into these movements, these waves that we pass through, and realize that somehow we are being held by an evolutionary curve and that all is truly in balance. It's kind of a tough one to consider when you look in the mirror of the world right now. And Richard, in this, he really is trying to get us to, well, he writes, that we have forgotten that life sets the patterns of evolution. So truly, if we can trust in life, if we can let go and realize that we are just agents of these patterns, then we can forgive and relax truly and realize that even in the most challenging times, we're called to trust, we're called to be patient, and realize that spring always comes after winter. This will pass. It asks a lot of us. Recently, I had a great experience of this with coming through the birth portal and having 2 weeks postpartum after the baby was born of the most hellish initiation of my existence. It was the most difficult thing I've ever experienced, probably equal to the birth, if not more, because of the extended period of time. Birth is painful. My body was healing, and I was also learning how to take care of this child and under an incredible amount of stress with little sleep. And all of you parents out there and mamas know that maybe it was different for you, but for me, it was really difficult. And it's almost like time stopped. Time was moving so slow. And this key shows us how time will move what's the word I'm thinking of? Correlation to our attitude and our overall frequency. So if we're feeling relaxed, we're feeling good, we're in the groove, then we kind of lose track of time, and time can slow down or fly, but it's all good. But in this case, I was so struggling a lot of the time to where a day was like the longest time. And I was like, come on. So I'm sure you all have your experiences where, because of where we're at, time like has this whole trippy quality. And for me, I had these moments in those 2 weeks where I would surrender, and I would have these like, oh, ahas of like, okay, no, this isn't going to go on forever. This will pass. My body will heal. And it was those little windows that were showing me what was to come, which was the other side of the portal. So that was an example that I wanted to share. Another beautiful little real life thing is that just yesterday I looked out the window and realized that the geese were back. The geese are migrating back north to Canada, or south? No, they're going south, yeah, because it's winter. Excuse me, I don't research the migration patterns, but it was beautiful to then look at this key and see, oh yes, we're right in that time where the migration patterns, the seasonal changes are underway, and it's all about trust. Do we trust the greater cycles of life enough to relax when things maybe aren't going so well? We feel rushed. So it's a beautiful, beautiful time to really consider how you are engaging with your natural frequency, and noticing how when you slow down in your life and let things move at the pace that they want to move at and not push things, that your heart will naturally open. Patience is not just about like being patient and waiting. It's about truly the heart opening because of that stabilizing into just the natural frequency of where we're at. And when we do that and our heart opens, we are raising our frequency. And for those of us who've been studying the Gene Keys know that when we are operating at a higher frequency, we activate parts of our DNA, codes in our DNA that operate at a higher level, that give us greater capacities. Now all of a sudden I'm so much more capable of doing that thing that I wanted to do, but I was struggling to when I tried to like make it work and I was frustrated. Everything opens up and surprises will come your way. And you access the living library of the code of life. So find yourself navigating this frequency with as much awareness as you can, because truly awareness is the key. As we go through our week, become aware of when you become impatient, and slowly that will just unravel and bring you into the moment. So we'll close with just a little prayer from the transcendent quality of timelessness. That deep inside those codes of our DNA, there is a place that transcends the code itself. And that when we can touch that higher light and magnetize through our aura a spiritual light that's so bright and so beautiful, that in fact the whole spectrum of consciousness is completely void, and truly all that exists is this light, is this consciousness, that timelessness is really the true essence. And it doesn't matter if we're in the shadow or the gift. Timelessness is holding us all along the way. Can we trust that evolution has us in the right place? Enjoy your week.